Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're exploring something, well, honestly, it's captivated me. Imagine an entire universe, right? It's filled with nightmares, glitching realities, all that stuff. Now imagine it all traces back to one single, quiet, human decision. That's what we're diving into today. We're looking at the foundational lore of what our source calls the Vaultverse. It's this really unique fictional universe detailed in the material you shared. Our main source here is this excerpt, La Jia, the one who opened the gate to greatness. And interestingly, it's marked restricted, attributed to a unknown author within the Vaultverse itself. So, yeah,
Right.
this isn't about, grand battles or ancient prophecies. This is something much more fundamental, the spark, really,
Yeah.
that lit up this whole cosmos of horror and legend.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how often the biggest things, these monumental creations, they often have these incredibly unassuming, deeply human origins. It's often missed. We tend to look for the Big Bang, the huge cataclysmic event. But sometimes, like this source suggests, it's maybe just a whisper. And the nature of this document, the whole restricted thing, the unknown author, it immediately signals we're getting into something core, almost sacred knowledge within this Vaultverse.
Yeah.
So our mission really is to unpack this one moment, this foundational event, understand not just what happened, but why this specific start shapes everything that follows in this, well, pretty intriguing fictional world. It really does highlight the unexpected power, almost paradoxical, of a single simple choice.
Oh, absolutely. And it is about a single chase,
Mhm.
made by a single, seemingly unremarkable man. The source introduces him as just a man who becomes, well, absolutely central to the Vaultverse existing at all, but not how you'd think. Forget, cosmic gods sculpting worlds. This text is super clear about what he didn't do. It actually says, and I'm quoting here, he did not write the lore, he did not battle the nightmares, he made no pact with glitch gods, nor spoke to the corrupted stars. Think about that. In a universe defined by its lore, its nightmares, these glitch gods who, I guess we infer, are these powerful reality-bending things, right?
Yeah.
Tied to the Vaultverse being unstable.
Seems likely, yeah. The instability, the glitching truth it mentions later.
Right, and the corrupted stars,
Yeah.
maybe they whisper things. Anyway, this foundational guy, he interacted with none of it. He wasn't a hero, he wasn't a villain, so
Yeah.
it really makes you ask, if he did none of that, what did he do?
It's such a subversion of the usual origin story, isn't it? If he wasn't, actively shaping things or fighting the big bads, his contribution must have been something totally different, almost passive, maybe. But somehow it kicked everything off.
Exactly.
And the source gives us this answer that's surprisingly simple, but also profound. It wasn't about him imposing his will or creating something directly. It was more about allowing a path to open up. His impact was indirect, an act of allowing, not directing.
Precisely. He enabled, he didn't control. And it all comes down to this one incredibly profound yet totally human decision. The source just cuts right through the noise, gets to this core act. He did one thing. He opened a gate. A simple choice. Quiet and human. Let the boy go. Let him find his path. Those words. Let the boy go. Let him find his path. That's presented as the absolute linchpin for this entire universe. It's not power, not manipulation, not some grand sacrifice. Just letting go. A leap of faith, really. Something most of us wouldn't think twice about in daily life. Yet here, for the Vaultverse, this quiet little decision became, well, everything.
The irony there is just immense, isn't it? The huge cosmic weight resting on such a simple human choice. It wasn't force, it was release. He wasn't guiding the boy, telling him what to do. He was just granting him the freedom, the autonomy to find his own way. And that connects so strongly with that idea of faith the source brings up later. It's a decision rooted in trust, right? In letting something unknown happen instead of trying to control it. It's got this vulnerability which, paradoxically, becomes this act of massive creation, the true genesis for this world. It's almost a tragic kind of creation, you could say. An innocent, maybe even loving act, leading to something so vast and, as we find out, so dark.
And the truly mind-boggling part, at that moment, this man had zero idea what he was doing, what he was setting off. The source says it plainly. He didn't know what would follow. He couldn't have.
Right. No master plan.
None at all. Just a pure act of human will, completely disconnected from any clue about the huge impact it would have. But that voice, gentle, insistent, those few words, they had this immediate, lasting ripple effect, way beyond his understanding. His choice, the source says, would echo through timelines, pulling wires of fate taut like strings on a cursed instrument.
That's such a powerful image, almost disturbing.
It really is.
Mhm.
His choice wasn't just a blip. It fundamentally retuned reality in this place. It split the road wide open and let something bigger step through, something utterly foundational.
And if you connect that to, the bigger picture, how worlds are built in fiction, this single decision, it became the absolute bedrock. Everything that came after in the Vaultverse stands on this moment. It wasn't just like one piece of the puzzle, it was the whole table the puzzle was laid out on.
Exactly.
Without that first opening, that act of just allowing the whole canvas for everything else just wouldn't exist. It's the ultimate first cause in this pretty horrifying chain of events and makes you rethink creation itself, doesn't it? Away from deliberate design towards unknowing allowance.
And when we say everything, the source is totally clear, no ambiguity. It says the Vaultverse, as it is known now, would not exist without him.
Yeah.
And it lists them, like a dark book of Genesis or something. The horror, the universe, the glitching truth, the crown of the Nightmare King.
Nightmare.
Yeah, none of it. Without that moment, the gate would have stayed shut. The story would have remained unwritten, the legend unborn. It's actually chilling to think all the scary stories, the deep lore, this Nightmare King figure who sounds pretty central and terrifying, and the glitching truth where reality itself is like broken. All of it springs from this one quiet choice. It all goes back to that man letting that boy go.
And that's where the real genius, or maybe the horror of this origin lies. The implication is just hanging there, isn't it? The boy from that choice, the one allowed to find his path, he eventually became the Nightmare King, or at least his path led directly to the king's rise.
Right, it seems unavoidable.
It's not presented as an accident, it's the direct, inevitable result of opening that gate.
Okay.
And what's really striking here is the idea of impact without direct, intentional involvement. The man didn't mean to create the Nightmare King. He didn't do it maliciously, but he created the possibility. He enabled that path.
He opened the door.
Exactly. And the source drives this home with this incredibly poignant and honestly quite unsettling observation. It says, "Every king is shaped by the ones who loved him first, and every great horror was once just a spark protected by a hand unseen."
Oof, that line. Every king is shaped by the ones who loved him first.
That's just haunting when you think about it. It suggests even the most terrifying figures like this Nightmare King, they're products of their beginnings, and those beginnings might be rooted in something as pure as love or protection.
Yeah.
It's a profound paradox, isn't it? An act of care, an act of faith sets off this chain reaction that leads to, well, great horror. It wasn't malicious. It was an act of opening, of allowing, and that became the spark. It forces you to confront this idea that our big decisions, even the ones made with good intentions, born from love, they can trigger things way beyond our control, shaping destiny in ways we just can't imagine when we make the choice. It's a deeply unsettling thought, really, about responsibility, consequence. It absolutely is. And this is where the story sort of moves beyond just plot into something more philosophical, right? Exploring nurture versus destiny. It makes you question whether it's an inherent nature or just the initial conditions, the freedom given that truly dictates where things go. That act of protection, of allowing freedom, it can ignite this fire that just consumes everything, maybe even the original intention, which raises a tough question for us, I think. What responsibility do we actually bear for the indirect results of our own acts of faith or love, especially when they empower others down paths we can't see?
That's heavy.
It suggests that even, benevolent empowerment has this potential for profound, maybe dark, unintended consequences. The unseen hand wasn't guiding towards horror, but its protection kind of nurtured it by mistake.
And as the source wraps things up, it leaves us with this really powerful, almost poetic thought, kind of a guiding principle for the whole Vaultverse. Remember this. It says, with a little scroll icon even, some doors are opened not with keys or codes, but with faith. And that was the first true miracle of the Vaultverse.
Yeah.
This isn't about magic, right? Or divine intervention in the usual sense. It feels like something deeper, more human.
You're right. I don't think it's magic like a spell. If you unpack miracle here, it seems to be about the extraordinary, almost unbelievable outcome springing from a very human, trust-based decision. It just underscores how the most powerful catalysts, even in a fictional universe, can be internal, intangible.
Faith itself is the power source.
Pretty much. It was an act of profound belief in someone else's path, a willingness to just let go of control and trust the unknown, and that created something so huge it took on its own life. So this miracle, it isn't some benevolent gift from above. It's the unpredictable, immense, generative power of human faith itself. It kind of elevates these abstract human qualities, faith, choice, letting go into the most impactful forces imaginable within this world, makes just existing there a testament to this first very human gamble.
So, okay, what does this all mean for us exploring this really fascinating lore? It means this huge, sprawling, terrifying world of the Vaultverse, all its deep stories, glitching realities, unsettling mysteries. It didn't start with a cosmic bang or a magic spell. It started with a quiet, deeply personal act of faith. That simple choice, let the boy go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a profound reminder that even the biggest sagas, the most complex worlds, can hinge on these seemingly small, unassuming choices made by one person. A real testament to the unseen, unforeseen power in every choice we make, especially those rooted in trusting others.
And that really does raise an important question for you, the listener, to maybe think about long after this deep dive is over. In your own Vaultverse, in your life, the lives you touch, what seemingly small, quiet choices, especially ones rooted in faith, trust, maybe love for someone else, might be shaping whole paths, whole outcomes you can't even see yet.
Wow.
What doors are you opening or maybe keeping shut with your own unseen hand, your own acts of simple human will? That initial spark, particularly when it comes from deep human feeling, it often echoes way further than we realize, creating a future that could be, well, both amazing and terrifying.
That is definitely powerful stuff to mull over. We really hope this deep dive into the surprising, maybe unsettling origins of the Vaultverse has given you something profound to chew on. Thanks so much for joining us for this exploration of unseen influence and the unexpected power of faith. And of course, all made possible by the brilliant imagination behind the Vaultverse itself, Marwan Hilal. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.